Do you know what you're actually prepping for? Well, I'm just starting to remember. Hi, this is Everyday Prepper. Welcome to the channel. So I'm back down on the boat again. I just wanted to get out on the river and get some lovely fresh air. I love being on the boat. It's very relaxing. On the way over, I was in the car and I took a breath and I thought, crikey, is that my breath? It smells like crap. So I chucked a polo in to try and counter it, wound down the window and realised that they're muck spreading on the fields. I passed loads of farm fields on the way here and luckily I realised it was that. Do you ever get that out in the country? Think it's your breath? Anyway, one of the benefits of being out in the country is the lovely muck spreading smells that you get. Anyway, I wanted to talk today about why you're prepping. And for me it has changed. I mean, I started this channel last November. My preparedness has kind of gone from preparing for World War III, nuclear attacks. You'll see on previous videos where I've said that you know, I go up and down on a weekly basis, really not sure whether it's going to happen. One week I think it's, oh my god, it's around the corner. It also depends on what news you watch and what news you check and what channels you watch as well. Anyway, where I'm at now, as far as preparing for World War III is concerned, I've set myself this kind of timeline. And what that is so we've got the US elections coming up in November, and all sorts of things could happen then, could happen before then. You know, we're coming into September shortly, so there's not really much longer before the end of the year. Weather's going to start to turn and everything else. Ukraine-Russia war is coming into its third year now. Anyway, so what I figured was, if nothing has kicked off as in a global conflict by kind of the end of January, then I'm going to stop focusing on it, because I've been watching a couple of channels, one in particular that, you know, daily for the last probably 5 or 6 years has said that World War III is going to break out tomorrow. Every day, it's tomorrow, it's tomorrow, it's tomorrow. Or it's in the next 72 hours, you know. And I realise it, and I keep getting caught by it because some of the content is actually quite informative. But I realise it's just for clicks, it's just entertainment. It plays to the fear addiction that we have. We like to be shocked. And that's what it's all about, and that's what's been happening with that. And I think the news is very much the same. You know, Sky News, even BBC News I think they have adverts around. So they make their money through advertising mainly and promoting certain products. Everything in this world is all about making money through sales of some sort. Well, a lot of it is anyway, and I think a lot of the news is all about what sells. Big stories sell more. Products sell more clicks on adverts. So I'm not going to get concerned with that anymore. So come January next year, and I'm going to start to wind down on that. I'm really not going to be interested in trying to prepare for World War III. So I'm going to try and prepare for, or focus my preparation on things that I feel are more realistic, which will be a kind of a regional or reasonably large scale power outage of some kind, whether it's just gas or electricity, or whether it's both. I don't know, but I get a feeling that, you know, maybe this winter, maybe next couple of winters, we might experience some longer term power outages. I don't really think there's going to be a major grid down scenario where our national grid in the UK would go down. I've said this before, again I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. You know, we've got Operation Black Start. There's the ways of getting things back up and running fairly quickly, and it would have to be a very, very big event anyway to take the whole grid down. But there are certainly instances, even now, where people are without power and have been for weeks in the UK. So that's definitely something I'm prepared for, which is why I have a big focus on solar energy, because you know, it doesn't really need recharging. You don't need to keep buying batteries. You don't have to store loads of stuff. You just buy your kit, and once you've got it, it's kind of there for life, really. It's all there for a long time anyway. I mean, mine's been running now. I've had one that I ran for about 8 years, still going. Another one I've been running for at least 5 years. Some of the batteries are starting to die, and that's because they are lead acid batteries. The LifePo ones last a little bit longer, even up to 10 years apparently. So I'm going to be doing a video on when I get my new LifePo battery on a setup there, which is going to be really, really simple, really, really cheap to do, really, really easy to set up. And I'm just going to I'm going to demonstrate that and compare it to a few other things. So that's going to be my focus going forward, is going to be looking at grid down. Now, I was put on the spot recently on a live chat I did with one of my YouTube buddies, and about preparedness for if there's riots hit my street. And to be honest, I was a bit flummoxed really, because I haven't got a major bug out plan. I've got a great bug out location, which is my boat, which is in a reasonably secure area, and nobody knows that I've got it locally, kind of thing. My neighbours don't anyway. It's pretty secluded, and I could bug out here, and I could actually, if I had a bag of supplies and brought it down onto the boat, even if there was a grid down scenario, I've got solar panels on the boat. I've got a solar panel and a battery, so I've got lighting. I've got loads of rechargeable lighting, means to cook and things like that. I've also got a caravan, so either way I could kind of get away. The only thing I haven't got is a tow vehicle for my caravan at the moment. But I'd be able to do something. I'd be able to live in the caravan if I had to. But yeah, if violence erupted on my street, that would probably be I'd probably make my way down to the boat, which is not too far away, and it's walkable in a day probably, but easily cyclable with a big rucksack on, and so that would work. But I think if serious civil unrest was to break out on my street, that means it would be breaking out in all the nearest towns, and I'm much more out in the country, so for it to break out there would mean that the whole country's gone down. So yeah, I'd maybe have to think more on that one, but it did get me thinking. But certainly, power outages I think we're going to see more of. We've got this, especially with this new government, I don't know what they're playing at. There's a lot of reports about them, bringing all this draconian stuff. They're going to slam people up, lock people up for saying stuff online. They're going to lock people up for rioting and everything else. I haven't really seen it affect my life. Clarify that. It certainly hasn't stopped me rioting, and looting, or any of that. And that's probably because I never did any of that in the first place, and have no intention of doing any of that. So it hasn't really affected my life in a great deal. I still say what I want on social media to a degree. I haven't changed really what I talk about on Twitter and other social media. So there's a boat coming past me with someone standing on his roof. Fantastic. We had Oliver Dowden from the previous government telling us that we should stock up and we should prepare for going back to the Dark Ages. And we haven't had anything from the Labour government yet saying that we should prepare. Maybe that's up and coming, or maybe that's what Oliver Dowden was thinking about. Maybe they knew they were on their way out, and that they were going to be defeated by Labour, and that Labour was going to trash the country so much that we were going to need to prepare. Either way, I think preparation is definitely something that we all should be doing. To what degree depends on where you are, depends on your own attitude to what's going on around in the world, I think, really. But for me, yeah, certainly grid down scenarios or extended power cut scenarios. Water, there's a big problem with water in my area, or surrounding area anyway. It hasn't hit me yet, but there's been people on boil water notices and having to have water delivered because their infrastructure is damaged for some reason for weeks on end. not far from me, about 15-20 miles from me, and a little bit further afield has been like months. They've had problems ongoing, on and off. So I think that'll be coming to me at one point or other, which is why I've got my water filter. I've got various ways of obtaining water. I've got lots of water stored, and lots of ways of purifying and filtering water, which I think is important. And always keep your food stocks up. There's talk of farmers being unable to produce food now, and that's going to have a knock-on effect. It will take some time, but we're going to have less food hitting our shelves. If there is further unrest, shops may shut. Shut up shop, but they're batten down the hatches, so to speak, and you won't be able to get hold of food if you haven't got it stored already. It could be difficult. So all the basics, really. Keep to the basics of prepping. Have an idea in your mind about what you might be prepping for. From my point of view, that's what I'm prepping for at the moment. I've got all the stuff to board up the house and keep out radiation. I've got masks on the shelf, gas masks on the shelf now for all the family. I've got a 3-day food stash in the room that I would have to lock down. I've got comms in there and all that sort of thing. I've got it all set up, but I'm not going to keep adding to it and keep worrying about it. And certainly come January next year, I don't think it would happen. It could be naive, because things do take time, and things can flare up fairly quickly. So we'll see. I may change my mind, and I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to change my mind, as are you. And a lot of us, we're making it up as we go along. There's no kind of prepper manual. It's all a matter of opinion. I believe it's definitely a matter of opinion. Power generation, for instance, some people are full on diesel generator, and they have diesel stored for that. I'm kind of full on solar power, and don't bother with a diesel generator backup. I don't think I need to. Diesel generator will give you more power, granted, but for the size of the infrastructure that you're getting in. But there might be differences of opinion, but that's okay. That's fine. We all learn from each other, and you do the supermarket shopping approach. You don't take everything off the shelves. You take what you need, and that's what prepping's all about. Certainly for me, anyway. Anyway, I came down here to pick up my pillow, my ergonomic pillow that I'd left after staying down here last time, and because my neck's gone and done itself in, I need my pillow back, so I came down here for that. I'm going to start the engine, make sure everything's all hunky-dory there. Also, spend all your time worrying about World War III, you're never going to enjoy life. I've seen a lot of people, I can't really afford to take time off work to go on holiday abroad, but a lot of my friends and acquaintances have been going off abroad, living their lives as normal, which is what you should be doing. For me, spending time down here, making sure my boat is all working, and enjoying taking it out, going out doing some fishing and stuff. Because if you get bogged down with the news and what's going on in the world too much, you can live your life by it, and it's not something I really want to do. So just thought I'd pop that in there as well. And I've got a battery that I accidentally discharged fully accidentally, and which wasn't good. I'll take that back and try and repair it. Other than that, when I get all my stuff over the next few days, I will be putting together another video specifically about solar power and how you can get set up, a really versatile setup for next to nothing compared to what else is out there. So in the meantime, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you very much for watching. Stay prepared.